What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. We are a little bit late today. Had some family issues. Now we're doing good. All right, so let's get to the thing that happened today. Hey, Woke Mike, how you doing? Hey, Vera. Hope all is good with everybody. So today, some craziness. Uh, y'all saw the I don't know what you want to call that press conference again at the Resolute desk with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Elon Musk had a shiner. Somebody popped him in his eye. Now I done heard everything about who it could have been, would have been. I heard it was one of his children. I didn't know any of his kids were old enough. Well, I knew one that is trans, and I don't know which child popped him, but supposedly it's one of his children. Not sure if that's the truth. There is evidence out now, or at least a New York Times article out saying, hey, my man is a drug addict. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to understand reporters need to look deep into this and make sure this is a real thing. I understand we got one report and there's some evidence behind it and they validate it. And it's weird how they said he was on some kind of drug binge and next thing you know, he ends up with a black eye. So sounds like a rough night to me. But here's the real part of this. Don't let this shit die. You have to understand Republicans, Democrats, independents, and media. If this is true, okay? Government contracts put into the contract that you cannot be a drug addict. You can't be taking drugs. So in this process, if any other major corporation, let's say Amazon wants to get those contracts with the what is called Blue Sky, whatever they call their thing. That's the app through Sky, Blue Origin. I don't know what he's calling it. His satellite or rocket company. You can't have a government contract and be a known drug addict. It's just not something that's supposed to happen. Now, you know Donald Trump and all them, they're gonna bypass whatever because he then gave them over 200 something $million. But I just wanted society to know that if he is on drugs, he should not be having the contracts that they're giving him. Tesla itself should be looking for a new CEO. If it makes sense that all these things are going crazy because this man has lost his damn mind. I mean, you got billions of dollars. Shit, hundreds of billions of dollars. And you out here in these streets doing drugs like this, coming up with black eyes. I mean, man, you got everything. Now you gonna mess it all up with drugs. It kills me how people just destroy their lives. I understand that there's people can get hooked on anything, but this man has had everything, had every opportunity. And has enough money to seek therapy, has enough money to do all that stuff. And instead, he is one of the core group that talks trash about poor drug addicts. Wants to kick them out the country, and here he is, a billionaire, and they're coddling him. Mm-hmm. So just so that everybody knows, if this man is on drugs, our tax dollars in the form of subsidies should not be going to him. I don't know how we enforce that, but I think we need to keep that in everybody's mind. So I'll keep mentioning it every once in a while that we have hundreds of millions of dollars going to drug addicts. And we need to stop that. We don't need to be funding people's habits. And if you didn't see it, I will see a little bit of it here real quick. I'm trying to see if I can get it set up for y'all. He came in today hot. He was pretty pissed at the press conference, but we're gonna play it real quick. Now, I think I shot this. I got this so that it wouldn't play. You see this man, you'll see. Look at his face. He's got a black eye. How do billionaires get black eye? What fight you getting into? Obviously, you lost. If you didn't, I don't know how the heck you got out of that. But he's got a black eye here. Look how he looks all over the place. If you see other videos of him throughout, He's looking through the ceiling, the walls, around the corner, everywhere else. His eyes are everywhere, everywhere. And then this is what what the New York Times, a little bit of what they had to say. Mr. Musk's drug consumption went well beyond occasional use. He told people he was taking so much ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, that it was affecting his bladder, a known effect of chronic use. So he's a chronic drug addict, and he brags about it. He told someone he's taking ketamine. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard ketamine was used for people who have ADHD and some ailments, but it sounds like he's abusing it as opposed to using it for what it's for. But I'm not 100% sure on the ketamine. Someone told me that. I can't validate that's true. We're going to go on to the next thing that was said about Elon Musk and his chronic use of the drug itself. He said he took ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms, and he traveled with a daily medication box that held 20 pills, including ones with the markings of the stimulant Adderall, according to a photo of the box and people who have seen it. Now, here's the thing. You're a billionaire. You got all kinds of, opportunities to have people around you that should not be able to see these types of things. Who you bring around you? Who's your boy? You know what I'm saying? I guess they want you to live, so they ratting on you. But who would do this? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't tell on my friend like that. I would have try my friend to help him out. You know what I'm saying? I would try and help my friend, whether it be female or male. I'll help my kids, whomever. I want to help them out. I wouldn't be ratting them out. But the reality is the people around him aren't really his friends. I'm pretty sure that New York Times either paid this person or did something for this person to get this information out of them. Now, news says they don't ever pay, but I can't say they did. But it's a lot when you on the payroll and you getting paid and you ratting somebody out doing ketamine and Adderall and other drugs. It says right here, it's unclear whether Mr. Musk, 53, was taking drugs when he became a fixture of the White House this year with Doge. So they don't know about all that. They just know he went on a stupor. So they don't know if it's like a complete addict all the time, or is it just like he's escalating from what he used to do. That's what it appears to be, because the person says he's taking more than normal. But if more than normal, that would mean you're taking it and you've been abusing it. Now you're extraordinary with it. So anyway, I don't wish any ill will on people. Get help and all that. But one thing about it is, stop trying to act like you're the smartest person in the room. You can't even figure out how to get off drugs. That's all I got to say about it. You can't figure that out, but you're the smartest person in the room. You just like everybody else. We all got flaws. But you out here acting like there's people who are stupid and you smart. No, your dad had money. You came here and bought a bunch of businesses from bright people so you can buy your intellect, just like Donald Trump. Dad bought his intellect. The stuff you say makes 0 sense. So we're going to hear a little bit of what this dude had to say today, and when he's being asked by Peter Ducey, I think, from Fox. See if we can get that audio up here in just a second.
The president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at Doge. There's this.
Well, some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room were the slingers.
Well, so there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate? Is it the same organization?
I got to check my Pulitzer counter.
It is. I think the judge just ruled against the New York Times for their lies about the Russiagate hoax, and that they might have to give back that Pulitzer Prize. That New York Times, let's move on.
Okay, then
next question.
That's not true. New York Times is not getting their Pulitzer Prize taken away from them. He didn't want to answer the question. I don't know about y'all, okay? But if somebody was saying, Mr. Straight Facts is taking, ketamine and Adderall and all this shit, and it wasn't true, oh, we getting it in. We ain't gonna have no little slight like, that little magazine or whatever that always lies. that's the same magazine or articles that you had when they said you were doing good, that you was. So you might want to have a little better answer than that, because when they have bad news, they're a terrible organization. But when they say Doge is doing well or whatever, oh, you're clapping for it. That shit gets old. That's for slow people. We ain't slow. So I would literally say, hey, didn't do it. Didn't happen. If I knew it didn't happen. You ain't going to put that on me. But instead, he didn't go there. He tried to discredit the New York Times, which when the New York Times reports that Tesla's doing better, he's going to be excited about. It's crazy how these people just rave and rant about certain things, you know, that they live by, when it's blowing up their businesses and blowing up their ego. So it's like, look, you can't take a compliment, and you can't take the ones where they slight you. When they say something about you that happens to be true, something I'm dealing with. Next question. You admit it, dude. You're gonna find out sooner or later. Just admit it. I was waiting for somebody, I didn't get to see it all, for somebody to say, how'd you get the shiner? It's crazy. I saw about a good, I don't know, maybe less than 10 questions or whatever. And they was asking all these BS questions. I was like, you must have set this room up with a bunch of Trumpers, because the shit they was asking had nothing to do with nothing for the most part. And the one thing that's tripping me out, though, I ain't gonna lie, Peter Doocy's been asking some like doozy of questions that Fox don't usually tread. This is the dude that was when Biden was in office, was asking Corinne all these off the wall questions, these conspiracy questions, going in on Biden, and it shocks me that he's going in on Trump. Now, don't get it twisted. He backs off and runs the other direction really quick too. But regardless, he has been asking some questions that shocks me that he would even ask, because that's just not Fox's MO. And it hasn't been Peter Doocy's MO either. So that shocked the hell out of me. But in this conference, you guys had to see Trump. I mean, I ain't gonna show you nothing of Trump because I'm tired of that dude, but you had to see that, you know, that Trump was doing some odd things. You feel me? One of the odd things that he did was he was in this room and he was rambling on with every question. Somebody say something. This dude was going all north, south, east, west. He went to the Wizard of Oz and came back. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Hey, Jake Tapper, could you do a quick little, like, we don't need a whole book, you know what I'm saying? Do like a CNN special on how this dude doesn't have the faculties to be able to make any fucking sense. How about that? You think they ain't covering up for this man? This man's been saying crazy shit for so long. Person, woman, camera, car, TV. I'm brilliant because I can say that. That was an IQ test. Not that you guys didn't say nothing about it, but you've let that shit just go like it was nothing. Oh, it's just Trump. What? Batshit crazy is just Trump? The hell? Since when do we have batshit crazy running the country? That's something you guys should be talking about. Unfit is what you should be talking about. 100% unfit. This man went off the rails on almost every question. Go back and watch that video. You'll see that Elon Musk, while he's sitting there, his eyes are everywhere, yo. He's doing this shit and doing that shit and looking up at the ceiling. He had to mention later he's looking at the gold and all that. But this dude was all over the place doing this and hands up and doing this. And he was all over the place. Usually he's just still. He was all over the place. Eyes going crazy, head going crazy. Looked like he was on Sherm. I'm like, what is wrong with this fool? The entire time that Trump was talking. For a minute there, I thought he was just rolling his eyes at Trump because Trump was on one. And that might be true too, but it looked like that's what's going on with him. He was like, Trump was saying some stuff, elongating some issues. And I'm like, what does that got to do with the question they just asked you? Everything's a popularity contest. They like me, and I think they like me. And then they asked one about Diddy. Jesus Christ. he asked about Diddy, and I think that was Peter Ducey again. I was like, what is this, the Ducey show? I mean, this fool was asking like 75 questions. I'm like, you ain't got enough reporters in there? I mean, usually you get 2 questions and done. This dude asked a whole plethora of questions. But he said, like, I guess Diddy was a friend of his. They used to hang out back in the day or something like that. What does he think? You know, would he want to pardon Diddy? And this fool went on, I don't know. Me and Diddy was cool. It was back in the day. Back in the day, we was cool. I don't know for sure, but I done heard some things, some bad things, maybe some few things. I done heard some things about him. I'm like, I mean, he may like me now, he may not like me now, but I done heard some bad things, and it's all about liking me. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He asked you, would you pardon him? Just say no, bitch. Say yes. That's it. Why you all in this? Oh, he don't know. It's a popularity contest. If you don't like me, I ain't gonna help you. But as long as you kiss my ass, I'll help you. He doesn't realize kissing his ass is temporary. People get what they want. Yeah, you're great. Can I get out? Yeah, okay. Walk out. What a dipshit. He literally thinks just telling him once that he's great, you still feel the same way. You talk about slow. All you got to do is tell somebody what they want to hear and they give it to you. You ain't really got to feel it. I mean, think about all these politicians, what they really feel about Donald Trump. But as long as in front of him, it's one thing. But when they walk out, they're like, Jesus Christ. But he don't care about that. As long as you're around him. I'm like, this is somebody who wants to buy friendship, buy power. Once he's out of office, he's dead to them. Once he has no more power, he's dead to them. That's why he don't ever want to leave power. That's why I say, people, I mark my words, this man ain't going to want to leave. He didn't want to leave the first time. Why do you think he can talk about, well, there's people out there that say, you know, the 2028 or whatever, I should be 2028. People been saying they got the merch out there. You think he ain't making money off that merch? Of course he is. Of course he is. He's probably the one behind it all. Don't put anything past Trump. He's devious. But he gets in there, and then all of a sudden he's talking about China, and China's like violated, I guess, some trade agreement, Geneva trade agreement. And I'm sitting there like, dude, do you understand you violated every rule of doing trades with everybody just by throwing tariffs on countries that had nothing to do with what you were talking about? You was trying to do it for the judges, the federal judges, and even Supreme Court have been saying, like, look, dude, you don't have the power to do this, even though they're your sycophants. Thank God they're clinging to the law. Thank God they are clinging to the law, except for 2. I think it's Alito and Clarence Thomas. Those 2 are clinging to the MAGA 100%. Clinging. Doing some of the most egregious things, voting against everything that's supposed to be, you know, law. Things that are supposed to be in place. It's craziness. Some other things that happened today. Oh, not today, but it was an interview. I think it was over the weekend with Scott Bessent. And Scott Bessent, this is kind of a longer interview. We're going to stop and go through it and stop and start and cover some parts of it. But Scott Bessent, this man handling a lot of these supposedly trades, is a bright man. I keep on hearing that from people on you know, in the finance world. And I'm like, where's the brightness at? It must be like, he must have one of those brightness things where, you know, around numbers, this dude is like, you know, crazy, just sitting there like 45, yep, 35, 75, 455 million. He could be able to calculate or something, because when it comes to just regular life, I mean, like regular life, like what's going on? This dude's a complete fucking idiot. Shit, I don't know, dude. He sounds dumb as hell, but they say he's smart. I give him that. But I think he's smart in numbers. When it comes to like dealing with people, which he's trying to negotiate, he sounds weak as fuck. You hear it for yourself, and we'll talk. We'll hear it for yourself.
Here to talk about all of that and the administration's economic agenda is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Mr. Secretary, thanks for being here.
Right. Good evening.
Your thoughts on this on again, off again judicial tug of war over tariffs?
Well, Brett, it seems highly inappropriate for the judiciary to wade in here when the Senate had the opportunity to override the president and didn't.
Okay, let's stop right there. Little like legal lesson here, because I don't know. I mean, I guess it's Fox, but I don't know why this anchor didn't like cut in and say, okay, Scott, you just said that the Congress in this situation, the House, did not jump in its legal authority to be able to stop what Donald Trump is trying to pass, or these what he's trying to do with these tariffs. He just said that Congress had a legal authority to weigh in on it, and they chose not to. So you just said that there are two, in your mind, his mind, there are two parties, which means of the branch. You got the executive, right, and then you got the legislative branch, right. Okay, now you got the judicial. They're equal. So you said it was okay for Congress legislation for them to do it. It's okay for Trump to talk about it. He's trying to say that the third one can't step up. Thank God they're not sycophants fully. But this man is literally trying to say that the three that's supposed to hold up democracy, Donald Trump is trash. The Congress being legislation because of the Republicans being at the majority, they're trash. So we only got one that's holding it all together. And he's trying to say just because the legislation didn't step up and Trump he has authority to do whatever he wants, this party over here doesn't have any reason to do it. They're going against, I guess, the Constitution. No, sir, they're upholding the Constitution. The one going against the Constitution would be you and Donald Trump. And seeing as how Congress isn't doing its job, the Republicans in Congress aren't doing it. Trump is trying to break the law. Congress is allowing it. And thank God the judicial, which is an equal branch, that they're actually stepping up. And they're being stepped up because we got the Democrats and independents out here, and these these non-profit organizations like the ACLU and all stuff like that, throwing out these lawsuits so that you guys can't do what you're doing. So this man just literally said there are two branches that have the right. The third one doesn't. It's crazy. It's crazy. They go against the entire Constitution, how America works, and they act like it's just, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's not. Just because you don't get your way, you can't get away with saying democracy doesn't work. It's actually working. And thank God, Americans, it is.
So, in terms of separation of powers, the Senate has chosen not to exercise their powers, and the president absolutely has the right to set the trade agenda for the U.S.
Not unilaterally. He can't do it by himself. And seeing how, like we just said, Congress is deciding to step out of it, there's a third one they can step in legally.
This administration is committed to fair trade, and we are striking the best deals for the American people, and anything that the courts do to get in the way, both harms the American people in terms of trade and in terms of tariff revenue.
You're in the middle of very complex negotiations. We've talked to a number of people about how complex. It's like three-dimensional chess in some of these trade deals with different countries. Do these court rulings affect that ongoing back and forth?
Brett, we have not seen any of that in terms of our trading partners. They are coming to us in good faith and trying to complete the deals before the 90-day pause ends. So we've seen no change in their attitude in the past 48 hours. As a matter of fact, I have a very large Japanese delegation coming to my office first thing tomorrow morning.
Peter reported that he's hearing there are 3 deals kind of ready to pop, maybe even this week, next week. Can you confirm that? Is it close on a number of deals?
There are a couple of very large deals that are close. A couple of them are more complicated. And as we saw with the president's threat of 50% tariffs last Friday, the EU came to the table very quickly over the weekend. So now we've got the EU in motion also.
And what about China, specifically China? And that obviously started in a different place. How can you characterize those talks now?
I would say that they are a bit stalled. I believe that we will be having more talks with them in the next few weeks, and I believe we may at some point have a call between the president and party chair Xi.
See, he barely can speak. Him and Donald Trump are perfect. I think that we should. Was it fucking robot? I think that we should. It's ridiculous. Put some words together. He can get a sentence together. It's just stoic. I don't understand that shit. What is he, Wally? I don't get it. How is this a great brain? I don't get this shit. I don't know how people be giving people credit because they can add. I'm like, you're a great mathematician, maybe. You're a great investor, I'm sure. But when it comes to humanity, you don't have a fucking clue. Social skills, you are slow. Hello. Listen to this man. He's supposed to be handling deals. He can't speak. These people on the other side listening to this fool are working circles around him. It takes him a minute to think. You think China, Japan are this slow? Do you really think they're this slow to comprehend shit? Fuck no, they aren't. This dude sounds stupid and he's smart. That's the scary part. And the only people I hear saying smart are finance people. But personally, it ain't happening. He can't gather his thoughts quick enough. They're going to work circles around him. When you just listen to what this man just said, things have stalled with China. They never picked up, fool. We've been watching. China's been making a fool of y'all since day one. They opened up TikTok and every platform they have to allow their citizens to eat you dudes alive. Ask yourself a quick question if you are on TikTok. How many, before Donald Trump threw those tariffs on China, how many of y'all saw Chinese people on a daily basis on your app? I mean China, from China, not Chinese people in America. Chinese people from China on your app. Didn't see them hardly ever. My timeline was not filled with Chinese people from China. My timeline was not filled from Chinese people who are manufacturers or worked in manufacturing companies. Never saw it. All I saw was Temu, Shein, TikTok, Shop. Didn't see that. I've been seeing a plethora, which literally says to Donald Trump and idiots like this, we don't need you, fool. We can literally show your people right the fuck now what they can get for less. We'll just go to the people. You don't have the leverage that you think you have. If the people want it, they'll buy it. If not, they'll go somewhere else. So will we. So will we. Farmers are going to go through some shit, y'all. He keeps doing this. I'm telling you, the uncertainty, soybeans and things like that, China's going to go to Brazil. And if Brazil gives them a better deal than America, that shit's gone for good. Why come back to a place that's all over the place when I can just go to Brazil, get a better price, and leverage that shit by saying, I could go back to America, but as long as you keep giving me a better deal, I'll never go back to them. Bet. Done deal. What happens to our farmers? Fucked. These people don't know how to make deals, y'all. Don't. If you listen to what Scott Bessent said, it's like, well, it's stalled, and we're going to have to get these two great people. They're friends, you know. We're going to get them together and let them hash it out. So what does that mean about you? You're worthless because you couldn't figure it out. Now you need the two big dogs to actually try and figure it out. Let me give you some quick understanding, Sir Idiot. China's leader has already spoke to their people like you speak to Trump, right? They have been talking to you, trying to work a deal with you, and realize that you're a nincompoop. So their leader, they may be cool with Trump, but they ain't cool with what Trump is trying to be able to do because there's leverage and trying to punk them. It ain't a thing. Here's the thing. China opened up its people to say the shit that they say because you know they on lockdown. You can't really get to us unless they allow them to get to us. They allowed them to get to us and us to get to them, right? To say the things and bring people in. They're playing four-dimensional chess. Again, while y'all playing Candyland, they already done talked to the people and told them that, hey, you're paying those tariffs, not us. They done showed you in their home. You see this back here? You see this over here? You see this right here? This thing I got in my hand, the mouse. None of this shit that we have in our Chinese homes comes from America. We don't need you, bitch. None of the stuff in my house. I don't have nothing in here made from America. So you need us more than we need you. And this guy saying, oh, well, we're going to get Trump in there and he's going to do it. You really believe Donald Trump is that kind of like leader? You're really that slow? He ain't gonna be able to make a deal with them. China does not need us, y'all. China does not need us. We both need each other in many ways, but we don't own their debt. They own ours. Our bond market is them. And just like I heard finally somebody say on the mainstream media, China has our complete lunchbox. China and Japan own our debt, yo. To really fuck with America, they just call in their debt. It's a wrap. We don't have it. It's a wrap. But it's not in their best interest because there's so many other things. But if they are no longer needing us, oh yeah, then they don't need us. They can have their own funding. They don't need American dollars. They can move it over to something else. We fuck. Again, I don't see how they don't see this. Again, it's a part I think believe that these rich, arrogant white men, they believe everybody needs them. And for the most part, they have needed them in hundreds of years. But when that Chinese man that ain't even the president or the leader in China literally said in one of those videos, so we've been here for 5,000 years. You ain't been there in 250 years. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. That was saying we're going to go through some pain. But fuck y'all. That's what that was saying. And he wasn't even the leader. But you know, in that country, if he said something out of turn that the leader did not believe, he might end up 10 feet under. It's not a democracy over there. So everything they say, they have permission to say it because it represents their country. And seeing as how this man is still amongst the living, this is something that the head of China validates. While Donald Trump has the 1950s idiot, looks like he's on some kind of TV show from back in the day. This dude, smart with numbers, humanity stupid.
So stalled, there was a time when the president thought that it was moving forward pretty significantly.
Again, I think that given the magnitude of the talks, given the complexity, that this is going to require both leaders to weigh in with each other. They have a very good relationship, and I am confident that the Chinese will come to the table when President Trump makes his preferences known.
All right, so let me go from tariffs to budget and tax policy as the Senate now takes on the president's so-called big, beautiful bill. Here's Goldman Sachs weighing in on where the debt stands.
We now have a big U.S. budget debate. And so while all the attention was on tariffs, I think the attention rightly is shifting, certainly in the bond market, to the U.S. budget debate and the fiscal picture, which I would characterize as somewhat concerning. I think that we're going to run larger deficits pretty clearly as far as the eye can see, and we're going to have more U.S. Treasury borrowing. So I think the big risk on the macro right now is actually not so much tariffs.
John Waldron, obviously Goldman Sachs. Your thoughts on that and that concern?
I would disagree with John. And the tariffs are not separate from the budget because while we will not be able to score tariff income for the CBO scoring that we'll see as the bills come out of the, or as the bill comes out of the Senate. We are taking in a substantial amount of tariff income. So, they are not separated. And
okay, you just hear he said we are taking in I guess a big amount of tariff income. Income. That's our money. That is things being raised up in price, and therefore the company has to pay the tariffs for it, and then American company has to pay the tariffs for it, and because the tariffs have increased, that means the the customer, the American citizen has to pay more for it, even if it's a dime more, dollar more, 1,000 more, 10,000 more. Buying a car is going to be thousands of dollars more, which is already taking effect. So you've been bringing in a lot of money, but American dollars. I don't understand these people. They really think that Americans are stupid. I mean, Fox, but the American citizen that is watching Fox, how could you be this stupid? How could you sit here and this man is literally saying, we're raking in a lot of money. Where's this money going to end up going? They see the government bank account, so to speak, as their own personal bank account. They see taking more money out of our pockets and how the government money is growing and stacking up and stacking up and stacking up. I'm like, that means the American dollar is not dollar, American citizen, your bank account is going lower as it's going higher. And they're thinking that's a good thing. What? The American is spending more money for a product because they threw on some superficial tariffs, and their winning point to the American citizen is that look how much money we're gathering. But you're taxing the fuck out the citizens to do it. Ain't shit coming from China, Japan, Brazil. Ain't shit coming from them. Korea. It's coming from us. You're raising the taxes on us to build to fill the coffers of the government. Hell, you might as well just have said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take care of bills and we're not paying enough. You might as well just ask everybody, could we raise the taxes? And this is the thing that's killing me. If you really think about it for a hot second, let's just deal with this real quick. Everybody, even the Republicans and shit. The Democrats, what was their plan, right? It was to raise the taxes on a certain few $100,000 or more. Those people had to pay more taxes. If you were making under, I don't know how much it was, 250 grand, whatever it is, below, you weren't going to get your tax raised. It wasn't going to lower so much. It was going to stay the same. Theirs is going to go up and it's going to pay their fair share. That would have brought in money, right? and that would have been totally fine, right? You make a lot of money, raise your taxes a little bit, no big deal. These fools got these same people to think, oh, you won't be paying any more taxes. No taxes, no taxes. We ain't gonna mess with it. Ain't gonna raise no taxes. We're gonna raise tariffs. As if that's not a tax. And the majority of their people think it's not a tax. And the other country, Donald Trump says, it's gonna pay for it. They didn't even look it up to find out that we pay the tariffs. So while they're saying we're getting 500 million and all these other numbers, that's money out of you, your kids' mouths, taking care of your mom and dad. And then soon, because these people have to pay that, it's going to be paying for your kids to go back to school. Your health care is going to go up, all because of these tariffs. Things that be delivered to you, shipping costs are going to go up because they're going to be the gas is high, the trucks to take care of them cost more. It costs more to even buy because we get pieces to build these delivery trucks from China. Everything goes up on you, and look how much money we've gotten. You should have just came out and said, well, let's just tax the fuck out of American citizens. They knew that wouldn't have worked. But a person like me who loves honesty, I'd rather you say that and give me an opportunity to say yes or no than to lie to the American citizens, astronomically lie, and then suffer the consequences later. Never thinking they'll never figure it out. But some of them are figuring it out, which is hilarious to me. Because it just now it's like, oh, we know now something's happening. We know now something's happening. Now we're going to listen to this, and then we're going to listen to Representative Joanie Ernst, who is in a situation where American citizens and Republicans are starting to wake the fuck up to their own people. But let's listen, finish. We got about 30, 40 seconds left of this.
I'm not sure exactly what John meant, because I believe that the deficit will be smaller this year than it was last year. It will be smaller next year than it is this year. So we will be running deficits. We didn't get here in the 120 days that President Trump has been president this time. We inherited the largest peacetime non-recessionary deficit in history.
Listen to him. He said we inherited the biggest right? Like it was no war going on. Peacetime, right? He said we got this big number like deficit in peacetime. So, how is it that we went from peacetime to war as soon as Trump comes in? I thought it was peaceful. So in order for you to say that it's basically now that you got you had to enact all these things because you said there was a war going on somewhere with Venezuela, that you got to get rid of all these immigrants because they're killing everybody and raping everybody. How are you saying that works? How are you saying that? There's no crime. Low crime, if that. And we're at war, but with Biden, we were at peace. Make it make sense. He said they received a horrible economy. No, you didn't. And he knows better than that because everybody in the industry of finance says this guy is bright. So he's knowingly lying to the entire world. And his finance people know that. Wall Street knows that. That's why they've given Donald Trump, the name Taco. Because he always chickens out. He makes these decisions and he goes back. He makes these decisions and he goes back. They can't determine what to do, to buy certain things or not to buy them, because every day it could be worth a lot or it can be worth nothing, based off his tweets or his truths. But this guy just lied to you 100%, saying that the economy was literally a calm economy, peacetime. And all of a sudden, when Trump came in, it's wartime. We're being invaded. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. This guy gets on my absolute last nerve. Absolute last nerve. Now, we're about to watch Joanie Ernst. Now, I didn't get her, I don't think I got her clip where she says today that we're all going to die anyway. If you didn't see that, sorry I didn't get a chance to get it, but I don't think it's in this video clip. But she said, all people, we all going to die anyway. When she was posed a question about, you know, Medicaid, and she was trying to make it seem like, hey, with Medicaid, you know, we're going to get those. And they always come out arbitrary numbers. This lady said there's like so many millions of them, 1.5 million or something like that, of illegal immigrants and stuff like that. And you guys were complaining about the illegal immigrants like they came up with it. It is the craziest thing that they come up with it, meaning the Republican Party, the MAGA, the actual leaders of the parties. They came up with, you know, we're going to have an invasion. They said it was all this, that. They got their own constituents all riled up into believing in these lies. And once they are reiterating the lies in which the leaders have put into their mouths, now when they come back, like this Representative Joanie Ernst, she's telling the citizens that they were complaining about these things. They wouldn't have known about these things if it wasn't for the Republicans throwing it in their mindset and their psyche and making them fearful and having them regurgitate the lines that they fed them. But now it's the constituents' fault for regurgitating what the leaders said to them in order to get in power. She's saying, well, you guys said you wanted to get rid of the immigrants and all this stuff like that, and the ones who was on welfare, not welfare, but Medicaid. So we're going to get them off of Medicaid, 1.45 million. Ma'am. And then say she's going to keep other ones on. Citizens, American citizens, going to stay on it. No, it's estimated like 10 million American citizens will lose their Medicaid. And she's talking about, oh, we're going to get those 1.5 million. So you're telling me Americans, these hateful Republicans, are willing to lose 10 million for 1.5 million that don't exist. You know why they don't exist? Because it has been and always will be not it is a part of the law that nobody, if you're not an American citizen, you can't get Medicaid. You're not qualified for it. Period. And she said, we're going to make it that they're not qualified. They already are not qualified. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling that these people sit here and say these outrageous lies to their people. And the thing is, they're waking up. Thank God. Some of them, not all of them, but they're waking up. We're going to watch it.
As I'm sure you're aware, but apparently many of the representatives were not aware at the time, nestled within the 1,000 pages of this bill was a small clause which, for the first time in our nation's history, in fact, effectively prohibits the federal courts from enforcing contempt orders. So, ma'am, my question for you today is, will you pledge to us, our constituents who you serve, that you will not vote for this bill or any other bill that contains this poisonous provision?
Okay, and thank you for clarifying. So one thing that I will explain, because we have a lot of subject matter experts here in the room, is that the House has written one version of a bill. The Senate is taking up our own version of the bill. The two will be married together at some point. There is a rule called the Byrd Rule.
All right, let's stop right there. Now, this particular clip I'm playing you is a second attempt for Republicans. Remember, before there was another, Mike Flood came out, Representative Mike Flood, I think it was in Nebraska, who came out and said, I didn't know that in the bill that I passed, I didn't see that clause where it said that basically they can do something unconstitutional, break the law in which they don't have to do they can bypass like any judicial situation or whatever. So they try to throw this little clause in that allows them to do anything they want to do. They don't want it because it's unconstitutional, right? Now, there's some Republicans out there that finally fucking agree that their people are trying to break laws and they don't like it. Thank God, right? But she goes on to say, this gonna be a Republican bill. Be right now on, and we're gonna marry these two with the Republican Senate and stuff, and the House. We're gonna marry these two, So it more likely ain't gonna be there. She's not saying it's not gonna be there. It's more likely gonna be there. Then she brings up this bird law, right? And not even a law. It's actually just a rule that they came up with, the bird rule. Now, this bird rule is basically what it's saying is, and I would try to remember who it was from. I think it was a senator. What was his name? Senator, was it John Byrd? No, Robert Byrd. That's where they came from. Senator Robert Byrd. And this procedure is a safeguard in the U.S. Senate designed to ensure the budget reconciliation, a process allowing certain legislation to pass with a simple majority, remains focused strictly on fiscal matters, not on policy. So that's what she was trying to say, that there shouldn't be policy within the bill for the budget. The budget is just where the money will go and what we'll align or assign money to. There shouldn't be any legal, no policies being passed within it. So she's trying to say that this policy that the House put in will not be a part of it because we shouldn't have policy inside of our budget. That's the Byrd rule. It's not so much a law, it is a rule, and here's the thing about that rule. This is where it pisses me off, where they just try to overtalk people. You'll notice when she says this Byrd rule, she's condescending to her own audience. She said the Byrd rule, and then she'll wait. Silence, because I'm smarter than you. This is what the Byrd rule is, and she lies to them. The thing is, she was pulling a heat check. If anybody in that audience knew what the Byrd rule was, she wouldn't have been able to escape and lie about what it can and cannot do. You feel me? So what she did was she put a heat check out there to see if anybody in there was smart as far as politics goes. And they weren't. So then she proceeded to basically tell them that it can't be put in, but that there is a caveat to this thing. It is a rule. And if the the Democrats put up a stink about it, it takes 60 votes to be able to continue to pass it. But see, there's also another clause to this thing that she knows is available and that Republicans know is available. Think about it for a hot second. Why did the Republicans in the House include something when they knew the Byrd rule will exclude it? Why put policy inside of a big, beautiful bill when the big, beautiful bill is only supposed to be about the finances and where they go, the actual budget? Correct? Well, they put it in there because they are not paying attention to the law. They're breaking the law left and right. They're breaking rules left and right. They're trying to do whatever they want to do and have the judges and everybody else. Because right now, the only thing that's keeping us from going under is the judicial. The judicial, the judges are the only thing that's keeping our democracy right now. The Republicans don't give a shit about the democracy. They're coming back to their people and regurgitating crap to them and telling them that it's still good. It's not, right? Democrats don't have any power, even though they're out there doing their own individual things and they're out there speaking and all that, and motivating Democrats and independents and all that, and having these little cat fights with whatever his last name, Hogg, or whatever the hell, all this craziness. They're over here breaking rules and trying to get them by people. So this Byrd rule has a little thing in it, and it's called, I think it's called firing. And what you can do is the leadership can fire it or ignore the parliamentarian. So in other words, and it's like nuclear, basically. They can literally say, we're just going to ignore it. It's been done before. Newt Gingrich did it when in the House in Trump has talked about it in his first term, and even now about doing the same thing that Newt Gingrich did. So what she's literally trying to do is gaslight her own people and tell them that we have the bird rule. It's not possible. But it is possible. And it's what Donald Trump has always wanted to do, is to bypass things to get things done. And what have they been doing? Exactly what Donald Trump wants them to do. And what is she saying? Absolute bullshit. But she knows they don't know, and they won't put in the homework to find out they just got suckered once again. But we're going to finish listening to what she has to say about another 30 seconds.
Silence. So the bird rule states that anything that goes into our package in the Senate, it can't be policy. It can't be policy. It has to be focused on mandatory spending. I don't know anything about that provision that talks about mandatory spending or revenues.
Okay, she doesn't know anything about what this person just asked about, which Representative Mike Flood just talked about at his town hall meeting. She doesn't know anything about this provision that's in the Senate, the House bill. Excuse me, if something is coming over to you, and it's been a big deal for the Democrats when they were actually debating this, the constituents, you've noticed, are pissed off about it too. And then you get there and say, I don't know anything about it. So that tells me you're not paying attention to what the people in your community want or care about, because you should know something about it already, and you should be saying, I denounce it. I don't like it. Even the other dude, Mike Flood, said he doesn't like it, but he already voted for it too late. She's saying, I don't know. So she'll have justification when she does vote for it, and then be saying, oh, I didn't know it was in there. There's a meeting right here, but they don't care about facts. They don't care about being held responsible for their actions, because Donald Trump will let them get away with any and everything. They have pardoned for he'll pardon them for any and everything. Remember, the first presidency, Donald Trump was talking to people, telling them that he would pardon them if they did what he wanted them to do. You wouldn't be held responsible. But we had people in there with integrity, like Mark Milley, General Mark Milley. Other people had integrity. Mark Esper, that they wouldn't do it even though they would get a pardon. The pardon would have to come if you admit you broke the law. They chose the integrity. They did not spend their lives in the military doing right, so to speak. Even in war, you got to do wrong, but still right for the country. To be having like a horrible end of their career by breaking the American Constitution, breaking laws so they can be beholden to an orange idiot. They had more self-esteem, more American pride. And these idiots are addressing money, power, not the American people. If they cared about the American people, the answer to all of what Donald Trump says to them that's illegal is no. Can't do it. It's against the law. It's against the Constitution. That's somebody who loves America. But these people, they don't love America. How can you? You literally out here telling these people that basically they should go ahead and break the law. That's what they should do. Go ahead, break the law. I will allow you to be free. I'm like, I trust that as much as far as I can throw that big orange fool. Because all you got to do is make him mad. He would let Diddy out if Diddy hadn't said something negative about him. It's crazy. He let Todd Chrisley and his wife out, rob people of $30 million, and they're out walking the streets again. And hear Todd Chrisley say some shit in his little interview. I only heard like one thing about it. He goes, I'm going to be helping other people in prison. You really think he give a damn about people in prison? That's all about building the character. Trust me again so I can steal from you. That's what that's all about. I got to build trust. Because even though I was set free, ain't nobody gonna want to do anything with me. I owe too many people money. So let me get in front of these cameras and act like I'm a decent human being. You're not. You're not, sir. You are not. It's some of the craziest things when we notice that this country, we allow people who aren't, we have allowed, not just us, but, you know, the minority to make the decisions. Because the majority is out here, you know, working their butts off, you know, trying their best to not have to deal with politics, just to try and raise their families and do things of that nature. But we got to understand something. If we aren't in tune with what's going on in politics, we are doomed 100%. Because if we don't know what's going on, we can't fix anything. We can't thwart something off. The reason why Donald Trump and these minions, MAGA minions, are in power, so to speak, in his office, people with no merit, because I call it the nomad administration. It's the nomad. I call them nomads. That means no merit administration. It's N-O for no, M for merit, A-D for the first two letters of administration. I call them the nomads because it's a no merit administration. Nobody's qualified for their positions. Not a one of them. Not one of them is qualified that Donald Trump put into place. Elon Musk, crackhead, ketamine head, druggy billionaire. Scott Bessent, a robotic nut job. You got everybody. Oh, you know, the head of what's it? Kash Patel, cockeyed fool. Dan Bongino, a hothead who thinks he's still young, but he's old as fuck. All these people have no business being in the White House or around anything of power. They are podcast people who were professionals who no longer are in their positions for the reason that they weren't capable of doing said position at a high level. And now they're in position because of, what do you call it? This no merit shit. That they want to sit here and act like they got merit when they don't have it. I'm not stupid. I know people. First of all, if I were offered a position and they said, you know what, I want you to be, head of the, Pentagon. We're going to pay you, $150,000, whatever, but we're going to do some other things on the side, give you some stocks and all this stuff like that. I'd be like, that's a lot of money for me to take for doing government job and being a service, but fuck no, I ain't doing that. Why would I do that? I'm not a power whore. Not at all. The things that I want is things to be done right. And on top of that, why am I taking a job I'm not qualified for? I bring home a check, but yet, I can't do what's right by the people. I can't do what's right by the people. How can I? If I don't know what the hell I'm doing. If I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I can't benefit you. I'm going backwards instead of forwards. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This dude is a nincompoop. The stuff he says is just crazy. It's crazy talk. How are we getting our information about our health from a dude that looks like he's steroided up and knows nothing, absolutely nothing about health? I mean, come on, we all have issues that we may take for high blood pressure. We get migraines. We get this, that, and the third. We all got something where if you sat there and said, hey, man, I got a migraine today. Somebody in this room, boy, you better take this and you better take that. And it works. But that does not make you a person who can run CDC. This man has no record. He's a lawyer. What the fuck you know about health? Do you think any person that may be in good health is good for the CDC? I'd rather take somebody sick as fuck, but a doctor, someone who's done some homework to understand when they give you a chart and you read that bitch. I don't want you to be like, could you translate for me? I want you to say, oh, okay, this right here. Perfect. Oh, okay. I would say we don't pass that because it has this, that. Know some shit. No, this dude is a step above like baby puzzles. And we sitting here trying to say this person should lead. There is nothing about him that should be leading anything. This no merit administration has to go. And we need to stop saying that just because you're a white male that you should have opportunities to be in positions of leadership on something when you haven't got the resume for it. No other race even thinks that way. I don't know any black person that thinks that they're going to run the country without having some idea how the country works. Who does that? That is so remedial. Oh, I want to be the head. Really? Then go do the homework. I think I deserve it just because. That's why we are in the situation that we're in now. Because arrogant, racist, xenophobic, white men that are afraid of going in their numbers dwindling down while people of color ticking up, thinking that people of color want to do to them what they keep doing to everybody else. It's crazy how they would say out of one mouth, I'm not like my ancestors. Quit blaming us for slavery, while doing the exact same fucking thing their ancestors did. And in the time that it's happening, not taking responsibility for it. Let me repeat it so you can forget it. Take it out of school so you don't remember I did it before. It's insane. It's insane. But that's how it works in this country. It's working that way for now. Some people have been asking about these crowns. It's community. I know that for sure. So it's a sign of community. But I have no idea how they started coming up. It just popped up. It's a part of TikTok. Not TikTok. I'm on the wrong damn platform. It's a part of YouTube. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'll read into it. I'll find out about it. But it looks cool. It looks pretty cool to me. That Mike was like, get this shit up off my screen. Woke Mike had me rolling. I couldn't laugh at the time that I saw it. He said, "Out a distress call. What is this crowd? Get it down." Oh man, that was funny. It's just say you're a king, bruh. Just say you're a king. Now, I don't know what it's doing. But this country, man, I just been, like again, focusing on some things, saying things that we need to focus on as a people. And that means as American citizens, we have a lot of problems with our country right now. And I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of hearing politicians. I mean, it's so crazy. I heard a politician today and they were saying like the same things that politicians say, like, I want to help my constituents and I want to do this and I want to change this and I want to change that. And when I get in, I'm going to do that. And I promise you, this person is a sweet person. I know for sure. I know they got to be a sweet person. And I ain't got no ill wills of this person whatsoever. It is just that I am sick of hearing the same shit. And I started thinking, I'm like, what is it that you can actually do? Feel me? What can you do? because you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're an independent, you're in a party that is already formed, already has its core group, its core ideology. Remember when the liberal part of Democrats came in, the you know, some of them show their different colors or whatever, but you know, AOCs and all the people who came in, they was far left, and all they really wanted was for American people to have, just the basics. I mean, healthcare should be the basics, y'all. It should just be the basics. And instead, it's not the basics. It's something that's just insanely like astronomical. They're like healthcare for everybody, at least, if you want to start out with it being like preventative healthcare. So you catch things early. Nope, can't do it. We're the richest country in the world. Poorer countries are doing it. And they're they're not socialist countries. They're capitalistic countries. They're democracies. They're doing it. Oh, we can't do it. We're not this. We're not that. And then all you got to do is say socialism and people turn off. And it's like, dude, I don't care what you call it. Okay? Call it whatever the hell you want to call it. I call it just right. There should not be one American soul dying or going broke if they get sick. They didn't choose to fucking get sick. If anything, because of the billionaires and millionaires and those science deniers, that many people are dying of things that could be cured if we focused on them and health alone. But no, we're worried about making money and power and property and not American citizens, and saying, hey, let's take care of the people. If we took care of the people, we wouldn't be worried about all these diseases. We'd be able to catch some of them before they grew. If we had health care, not to say that we'd avoid some of these like pandemics or these major ones that could have killed a lot of people. We have been able to thwart most of them. With Dr. Fauci in place, we were. With this dipshit, we won't. But why on earth did just taking care of American citizens and knowing what the hell you're doing, instead of just thinking you deserve it without actual credit or actual doing the homework and earning it, why did that become a thing? Why did we regress to people wanting to be at this level without working for it? Just going to be free to them. Where did we get that shit from? When did we stop devaluing education to the point where people who don't get an education are supposed to be like up here, and the ones who have an education, we're going to put them down below it? And it's like, why would you have people leading you that haven't put in the work to learn how to lead? It doesn't add up. But that's where we're going. And not to say that one cannot rise without having a school education. You can get an education at work, online, actually going out and doing it, just knowing your shit. But somewhere along the way, you don't want to, some of these people don't want to know nothing. They just want a position. They want the bag, so to speak. Not really being able to accomplish said jobs or task to do so. And it's just a sad situation, but we have to be able to figure out how we can be able to be better. We got to learn how to be better on that. And I've been working on that. You guys know. We'll have our meeting not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We'll have a meeting again. If you are a member, that I'll create a new link and put it in the community section for only members only all members, no matter what level you're in, will be invited. We're working on something called Partners, and it's the whole thing is Project Infinity. It's about time the American citizens literally say to themselves, I'm fed up with the shit. I'm fed up with people telling me something and doing something different. I'm fed up with people not being held responsible, especially politicians. Like I was saying, listening to a politician today, and I promise you, I think this lady is looking forward to the future and trying to make it better. But I look at it and I say, you know what? I'm tired of hearing the same things. I'm like, ma'am, unless you can change the way the system works, you're just another positive voice in the midst of like a system that's not designed to do what you want it to do. It's not designed for that. You got to get rid of the lobbyists, or at least be able to compete with the lobbyists, to be able to write the bills, to be able to be held responsible when you're in that position and not feel like you can be able to do whatever the hell you want for the next 2 years because the people that you're representing can't do anything about it. That's not the purpose of wanting to actually provide service. One of the things that I realize in life, when you talk about you want to be of service to someone, that means you're trying to be of service to someone. It's not something where can you serve me? No, it's how can I serve the people? I'm one of these people. It's a we thing, but I'm not going to make a decision that's going to harm the majority of my constituents because I'm in California, somebody in New York says it's going to be a benefit to theirs. And I'm like, that's great. Vote for your constituents. You vote yes, I vote no. And then when we come out of every one of us here votes, the numbers should make it. Then you can say to your people, I voted for it. But just to jump on a side where maybe hurting your constituents, but it just helps, the party make a decision together. I guess you can say there's some kind of unity as far as party. But you need to be unified with your constituents. What's going on in your town? They're sending you there for their town, their state, whatever it may be, right? And that's where we need to be focused on, the people. And that's what I focus on. 100%. So that's what I'm dealing with. And like I said, I also have Discord. I think Alice earlier sent me an email. I guess she had a problem getting in, so I got to send direct emails to people. I'm not sure. So if you want to be a part of that Discord, it's info, and it's Project Infinity. Info, I think I got to do at Straight Facts. I'll put it up here. Oh, I can put it up here. I'll put it here in a second. It won't show it, but I'll put it on the screen. Info, Straight Facts, no chaser. Have to be members for this. And I'll put it up, see if it comes up. There we go. There it is. I'll keep it up. Info, Straight Facts, no chaser. And you can send me information. One of the things I'll be sending out on for members community, I'll send you the link to be able to get in. It should be already there in the community. I already put it in there yesterday to get in. If it doesn't let you in, or if you can't see it for some reason, just hit me up at that email and say that you want to be in the Discord. Then I'll send you an individual link with that email. Be sure to send me the email in which you want to become a part of it. And don't just say like, oh, I'm sending it from this email, but this is the email I want to be attached to. Don't do that to me. Have me trying to figure out stuff. Just give me the email. Send it from the email that you want to be in, that you want to be a part of the Discord, and I'll send it to you that way. And then also for those knowing what we're doing with partners, any brand that you love, I don't care if it's from soap to, archery, I don't care what it is, anything that you do, that you like, remote control cars, technology of different sorts, cameras, this, that, and the third. I'm looking for manufacturers to sell us stuff, quality stuff, so that we can buy that and be able to help each other out in the sense of the way you get paid every time you shop. So in other words, instead of buying something for like $300-400, we can find a comparison of that with the same quality. First of all, we'll test it out beforehand so that people can, our core group can actually say, oh, yay or nay, this sucks. That way we can be able to make sure that the products we have are quality, not just any product you take offline. The whole thing is trust, honesty. When we start to build like that, then again, we can buy the products from the different things that we buy, and you'll receive, depending on how much you use it, you receive 15%, and not just like offering it like that, actually 15% of the profit, 30% of the profit, or 50% of the profit, depending on how much you shop within it. And then we're also going to have e-partners and franchises later on, so that people can do the exact same thing that I'm doing and be able to, create. If you like entrepreneur stuff, people who aren't entrepreneurs is like, nah, I don't want to do all that, which is fine. That's the gold standard. You're just constantly just shopping, just like you would shop at Amazon for certain products. And that's what we'll end up doing and building that, so that, again, what I'm doing is breaking the back of billionaires, and breaking the bond with brands, and more so building a bond with quality products, whether they have a name or not. As long as it's quality, I'm fine with it. If it's real leather and it's real suede, or if it's real whatever, and it looks great and wonderful, we're working on that. Because again, like I was talking about the politician, we can talk till we turn blue in the face. We can say we want a certain thing, but we're not going to get it within the system that we're in. We're going against what this system does to stay alive, to stay afloat. It fucks people over in order to be able to keep rising to the top. So that's why you see Republicans and Democrats fighting over stupid shit, and American citizens, like 70% are like, or 80% some of the things the majority of Americans want. 80% of us want, some kind of gun law so that we can all be whatever, right? We want that. Be safe, but don't take away anybody's rights. 80% of Americans want that, 80 something. And they can't come up with anything. How can you spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years trying to come up with a solution, and you tell me you don't have one? You have them. You don't want to implement them. And that's going to take the people to do that. That's going to take us to do that, and technology, and actually coming together. So what this is kind of like a think tank of people coming together and saying, hey, what do you think the solution should be? I've got solutions, but the thing is, I want us all to work on them, throw our own minds in it, and try and figure it out. And then through doing what we're doing, we're funding it all. So it's going to be next Saturday. I'll put the link out and talk about it throughout this whole process. I shouldn't be out of town at that time. So we'll do that. But it's called Partners, and the whole thing is Project Infinity, because I'm tired of the same shit, different day. Politicians getting in place and saying the same thing. And I heard it a billion times, it feels like. I want this to happen. I want this to happen. I want this to happen. Oh, that sounds good. How are you going to make those things happen? Because the system, the way it's built, isn't designed for it. So what are you changing? Oh, I want to change this. How many more Democrats do you have that want that? 4. Oh, okay. So in other words, it's never going to fucking happen, is what you're saying. No. Okay. Good. Good. It's never going to happen. So we need to stop talking about it then. Because if you can't pull it off, why am I listening again? That's the way I feel about it. So when we come together, we're going to have to start coming up with solutions to things we want and start implementing. It's not going to have to be every American citizen doing it. It can just be us, but it'll be successful, trust and believe, because it's using capitalism. It's just capitalism that cares. It's not trying to be socialist. It's not trying to be anything else. It's trying to make capitalism work for the many and not the few. So many people are jaded on capitalism. I get it, but capitalism is literally is just a way of doing like business in a sense. It's supply and demand, right? And then it's gouging people for prices, but you don't have to do that. You can have a fair share, and literally not everybody can have an opportunity to be wherever the hell they want to be at. It's all about giving people opportunities to do so, and having the mindset of being able to give people those opportunities. The American dream is a real thing in all of our minds. An individual person has their own vision of what it is. It's possible if we're not always trying to knock the legs out from other people so that we can climb on top of them. You can help people to the top and go with them. I'll leave it with this. There was many years ago, I was in my 20s, and I was, all into the, trying my best to, make it rich in LA and busting my butt in certain things that I was doing. And I loved it, trying to hustle, make this movie and stuff like that. But then I started realizing, less about the money making. It started to be about how can I help not only myself get rich, but others get rich. And I remember going to one of these seminars I went to, and I met with, there was a guy who was a multimillionaire at the time. And he, I don't know what he's doing now, but that's back when I was like 26, something like that. I'm 54 now. And got to know him, could hit him up, you know what I'm saying? And went to his office and was talking to him about something. And I said, man, I just got a question for you. How do you he said, I said, everybody's selling this quick rich or get rich type of scheme stuff. I'm like, how do you get rich, period? I mean, tell me, what is your strategy? And his thing was, I'll give you the simplest thing that really people should get, and it shouldn't cost them any money at all. But he said people just like to buy things for some reason. He said the quickest way, and it's not like overnight, is that you help somebody else get rich and you become rich. And I was like, these greedy people out here. He's like, if you get somebody who has a great product or something like that, or a great idea, and you get behind them and you lift them, then you too will become wealthy. And you keep paying it forward. Somebody behind you that you can see, like, oh, they're great, they're wonderful, lift them up. That's another avenue of revenue. He said, what you're doing is stacking avenues of revenue. And you're investing in people, not always with your money, but with your time. So sometimes you'll help somebody out, and you'll hear these stories, sparingly within people who are millionaires and billionaires. I've heard Mark Cuban even say it, since I've heard this many, many years ago, talk about going in and finding a business that's kind of failing and saying, I can help you. You give me 10% or 20% and I'll help you. They helped that person make $1 million and you made 200,000. I help him make 10 million and I've made $1 million. The more I help others become rich, so shall I. At a young age, I was like, wow, that's crazy, But again, it's not always that easy, because it's hard to find those people who are willing to take your ideas or take whatever it is and invite you in. It was easier for white people than it is for black. Not the fact that it's easy, it's just easier. And so that's how you do it in many ways. And I said, well, for me, I'm like, to make people's lives better, whether it be you want to be wealthy or just well off or just pay the bills, then we need to create something that helps each other. And, being a part of me coming up with it, everybody around me will be lifted, because the whole process is, if I'm not helping people, if it's not a we thing, I don't want no part of it. If we aren't rising, it ain't about just me. And capitalism without caring is trash to me. There's no reason to having a lot of money and not helping other people rise to the top. That's the way I look at it. I've always looked at it. And I'll reach back every chance I can to help any and everybody I can, because I think that's the way we're here for. This whole journey of life is a we thing. You weren't born to be by yourself. You were born to be around people. And if you have a good heart, you're always trying to figure out how can you help others. Because in so helping others, you help yourself. It's very simple math. It's just hard for people to think of sometimes, because sometimes we're in our own head and we just think about ourselves. But I'm done with that. Those are my younger years. And now I'm all about lifting people and giving people opportunity to reach the American dream. Even mine, you know what I'm saying? It's like we rise together. So that's the way I look at it. So that's, if you guys like old school music, I will be starting the show probably in about another 10 minutes. Once I get off of this, I got to get ready for it. Chalky Music Lab on TikTok. Straight Facts 23 is my name. We'll be out there, doing old school music and having a fun time here, starting in a few, like 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. You can do that. Otherwise, you guys have a great weekend. Much love to y'all. We got to deal with this administration, the nomads, but we can change the world, one person at a time, and focusing on doing right by others. And I realize that the world, it's a we thing, not a me thing. Your family, I wish no ill wills on. I want you to succeed beyond your wildest dreams. It takes nothing away from me. For some reason, this country has taught so many millions of people that if one person gets ahead, somehow you're supposed to be jealous instead of being a part of it. Instead of being, in addition to it, we're trying to subtract. So I focus on love and lifting. So we're going to do that. You guys have a great weekend. Be safe. And you know what's up. As always, your boy is going to say, I'll see you when I see you. This thing actually allows me to do that. It won't allow me to do it. That's funny. All right. See you when I see you.